Rightio, Campbell's Comments now. Catching up with a long-lost Victorian friend, David Brick. Firstly, welcome, Bricky.
Hey, Paul. Thanks for having me.
Fair to say, mate, it's a little bit warmer where you are. This interview's 10 minutes late going up because I think everything's frozen here. Looks a sensational day in Queensland today, mate.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, no, it's been good. I mean, from one of the benefits of moving up here is, particularly during winter, is the warmer weather, and obviously being from Ballarat, I certainly know the difference. So no, take those small wins, I guess you get. So Victoria's always a nice place to visit and be from. But as I said, during winter, I'll take the Brisbane, or today I'm in the Gold Coast. So the Gold Coast winters are lovely. We
had a little bit of a Twitter war the other day, myself and Paul Rouse. He won easy. I think it was -4 or something.
I did see that. He's about as the crow flies, probably 3 k's from my mother's place. So it wouldn't be much warmer where she is or where I used to grow up. So yeah, it would be nice and fresh.
It is unique, mate. You've been in Queensland. How long have you been in Queensland for?
It's been over just over 4 years now. I think June 17 was when I moved up. So yeah, 4 years, just about to the day. So yeah, it's been good fun. Plenty to do, plenty of challenges, and but the families acclimatised well, and yeah, we enjoy it. So
we're here to promote the Queensland Racing Carnival that starts tonight, the Rising Sun. It's already started, I think, your whole carnival, and I think it's been terrific. Anyone that's watching this and just watching people behind, your COVID lockdown rules have changed a little bit. There's always someone to be watching people running past or whatever, but they did change overnight, that there've been a little bit of a relaxing, which is going to be good for everyone, including harness racing.
Yeah, well, that's right. So from midnight tonight, Brisbane will be, which Albion Park's in, will be an orange zone. So any Victorians that are up here will be able to fly back to Victoria as of tomorrow morning. And all they'll need to do is get a negative test, and then they can circulate within the population. So as opposed to having to home quarantine for 14 days. So someone like Anthony Butt or so forth, who had probably intended to come up here for the 2 weeks or so, if it had remained red, now has the flexibility to go and then come back. So he may choose to do that or not, but others likewise. And look, we have had a bit of, like, for example, tonight, Adam Hamilton was due to come up and front our coverage on track. He's going to do that from the studio tonight, just given we've organised that. But it should mean pave the way for certainly the last week of Black's a Fake night, that Adam will be up live on track. So anyway, they're the challenges you sort of work around as we are in COVID. But as you said, the relaxation will certainly help some Victorians being able to get to and fro if they want to come to the carnival.
And the Kiwis, Blair Orange, is he going to be able to get back a bit quicker, or are you not sure?
Look, I'm not sure yet. That one's probably a bit of a different one. I haven't heard on the New Zealand border yet. They've reintroduced the bubble with Victoria. I don't think Queensland has yet, but given Victoria has changed our status, I would think that they may look to do similar. But anyway, yeah, that'll be a different decision for the New Zealand government. So at this stage, I think we're still outside the bubble, so he'd have to stay unless they change that.
Mate, looking at the weather, there's worse places to stay than Queensland.
Well, it's funny I say that. It was funny. I was talking to Crandell Getty, and I said, the first couple of days he's here, I think it rained. I said, mate, we haven't really turned the weather on for you. He goes, mate, I'm happy to sit out in the rain for as long as it's like. It's still a hell of a lot warmer. He goes, I'll be happy to run around my bathers if I have to. So look at it is like that. So certainly take those wins, as I said.
Rightio, your new position in Queensland. Officially, what is your new title?
It's changed a few times, but it's senior racing manager is my role. And in effect, it's overseeing our racing department, but I guess we're also, there's 3 of us, one in the greyhounds, one in the thoroughbreds, and I guess probably the operational side of things, and then the strategic side of the aspect with regard to working with the various departments within Racing Queensland's our main focus. So I'll be the main sort of driver or work with our marketing department. So our marketing department will certainly drive our marketing promotions for tonight with the clubs, but we work through that with them and outline when our key dates are, what's coming up, what we think's the main items that we need to promote. And similarly with regard to other departments, government, our legal departments and so forth, anything we've got going on, we're the main points of contact within the business. So, yeah, it's a really good role. It's enjoyable. It sort of, to some degree, particularly from a harness code point of view, certainly provide a fair bit of autonomy in that regard, and which has been able to enable us to make, so I guess, some change in some parts positive. Or some would see it that way anyway. But it's been enjoyable.
You must enjoy it because, to be fair and not bagging Queensland Harness or Queensland Racing, full stop, it possibly wasn't going great when you took on the job. I would imagine, it must have been a leap of faith to go there. But all of a sudden, like, I do a little bit of work with the greyhounds. You can see the thoroughbreds are on the improve. It must be really rewarding for you right at the minute, the way that Queensland Racing, full stop, is heading.
Yeah, look, it is, and you're right. It's across the three codes. It's and really been a strategic focus from our board. Our board setup is we have 4 independents and 1 code representative for each. So there's a seven-member board, and they really do take a high-level look on the business, and they set the strategy. So the Rising Sun's a really good example. So one of the key strategies that the board set was 5 iconic racing events for Queensland. And so from our point of view, we said, well, we've got the Blacks are fake. While we certainly want to make it an iconic event, at that free-for-all level or Grand Circuit level, you've got the Miracle Mile and Hunter Cup that are really established. So we looked at it the way, well, can we come up with something new? And that's where the Rising Sun sort of came out of. So I guess that's an example of where the board sort of set that strategy, and then management go to saying, well, we're going to solve for that. So as I said, the Rising Sun is one of the results of that strategy. And so as I said, the one thing that I found here is that the board's very strategic and very commercial, and then management have to go around setting those, meeting those targets. And I guess, as you said, we've worked hard to achieve that. We've had a lot of support from government, and that's helped, no doubt. But we've also been able to make the business a lot more commercial. So from a harness racing point of view, I think when I started here, we raced around 2,300 races. This year we'll race around 2,700, almost 2,800 races. So there's about 400 more races we're running there. Yes, they more stakes, but it also generates more revenue. So that's, I guess, some of the example where we're trying to drive the business and generate commercial returns and get confidence from government, which means they'll reinvest back into the business. Also,
more opportunity for young people to get a go, get a grasp of things, drive 100 winners, sort of milestones that I suppose for a lot of participants in Queensland, a lot of those were always out of the reach. They probably watch the Victorians and see Chris Alford drive 7,000 winners, and they think, wow, how does he do that? So probably the other part, more races, gives them more opportunities and a little bit more spring in their step.
Yeah, absolutely, that's right, and that's exactly right. Part of the strategy from our end was, as we were racing basically Tuesday through Saturday, didn't have a lot of night racing other than Saturday night and Wednesday night. So we targeted to see what we could do on Sunday twilights, and then also some Monday nights, and probably races at that lower class level, but it provides different opportunities for different participants. So your hobbyists get a bit more of an opportunity at night than during the day, obviously. So yeah, that's exactly right. It sort of has provided that opportunity for the participants, and and I've got to tip my hat out to the participants. Some of the change we've made, by and large, there's been a really good support from them, and things like driver cam and so forth. To start with, that was a challenge to get drivers used to that, but now they understand that those elements help drive the business, so they've got to jump on board and help with that. So as I said, it works hand in hand. You've got to work together, and as I said, our participants have been really good at doing that.
I love what you guys do, and I love any participant that's taken part in it, even positively or negatively. I think hats off to all of yous. Some of those drivers' colours, personally, I think are shocking. I don't know who it is with the brown and yellow colours, but it works because you actually know they're there. The guys on Sky Channel will highlight them going forward as well, leading up to the race. So it does create that little bit of atmosphere, and something, even in a race, if you haven't had a bet in, don't know any horse, you listen to what the commentator says, you watch that driver. So then next time you might have a bet in that race.
Yeah, look, the driver's colours aspect's probably the one that's most divisive, there's no doubt. But I guess we went around a process with engaging with a sports marketing company to say, well, how could we do this and really put it into a sphere where I guess modern sport has been how it's being promoted, and that's, I guess, the tunnel we look through. Because a lot of the things that we're trying to do is really about growing the sport, and to do that we need more followers, more people watching it, more owners, and more people wagering on it. And look, I understand that, as I said, the drivers' colours aspect's definitely divisive, but I guess we wanted to overlay that with a real marketing focus. So it wasn't just about putting drivers out in their normal colours and saying, well, here they are. It was overlaying that with more traditional marketing, social marketing, where, as you said, people can relate with those drivers, and hopefully over time, builds their brand as well, and it's something that they can then go out and promote themselves. So, and I think it's something we've found, within our pony trot ranks, is it's an interesting thing that some of them sort of do see that as an opportunity for them when they graduate. So, we'll review the drivers' colours in around September, and we'll get industry feedback to see where we go from there. But we're really keen to do it in a different way. And as you said, having the full suits, coloured pants, it makes it stand out. And and primarily, given 9 out of 10 people watch races these days on the TV, it was really for that purpose. So someone could put there, go, oh, there's Maddie Elkins, there's Narissa McMullins, and so forth.
What you were talking just then, it's interesting. Jackie Law drove 100 winners yesterday. So if all of a sudden Jack wears yellow pants for the rest of the year, and everyone says, why is Jack Law wearing yellow pants? It's because he's driven 100 winners, which is an achievement for a young man. So people are very, want their colours, want to keep their colours. And the likes. Maybe we have to look at different ways around it. Put a helmet on him with a pom-pom. Jack won't like it, but something different.
But you're right. That's the reality is that the on-course aspect, and tonight looking forward to being a really good atmosphere for a significant event. The reality is, of those 2,700 races I spoke about, a vast majority of those people are watching on TV. So it's how do we make our sport a better TV product to engage with people. So as I said, the drivers' colours is one aspect we're looking at, but it may be something else that people can follow the vision. I mean, we look at AFL, and some will disagree with the team colours that are there, but they do have team clash policies. So they, when you're watching TV, you can tell who's playing. So in some essence, it's trying to do something similar to ensure that the punter or viewer can see who they've backed or who they're watching. The
silliest part about that too is it actually creates more conversation, I suppose, because
it does.
And you don't stop barracking for Carlton or Collingwood just because they're wearing different colours.
No, absolutely. I'm glad Carlton don't wear the big what was it, the M&M jumper they like blue. But anyway,
I actually went to that game. It was a shocking game.
Yeah.
Go to racingqueensland.com.au. One thing, super proud when I punched in just there before to pinch the logo of the rising sun up on top. It's above your head in this interview, Bricky, but it's great. You open it up, and the first thing you see is the rising sun. Like on a racing website that has all the form for all Queensland racing: greyhounds, trots, dogs. The gallops. The main focus is the rising sun, and what is actually there being portrayed on that card. That's one got to make you very proud. But then you got the form. Anyone wants to do form, they've got to go to this website and follow all the form, because there's some great form being done by a lot of people behind the scenes.
Yeah, absolutely. That's looked at one of the benefits of a 3-code body is each code has to be promoted, and that creates a bit of commingling across there. Look, obviously our harness.org site is for your genuine harness punter, and people go there, but the Racing Queensland website has a range of different information. It certainly has form there, and it's done in a different way again, and continue to evolve. Again, with some of the form on there from our point of view, use graphs and some visuals to try and make it a bit different for people when they're looking at it. But yeah, the website's certainly there from that point of view in terms of plenty of information. I think sectional times are on there, and as you said, form analysis and so forth. So plenty of information that's there. We obviously also replicate it on the harness.org site, because we know so many people also head to that site as well.
Technology is a wonderful thing. Right at the minute, you've gone unsynced for some reason, but people will just have to worry about it. The technology that Queensland has embraced, especially as far as I can see, anyway, in the harness, I haven't seen anywhere near as much with the greyhounds and the thoroughbreds. They may be doing it. I just haven't seen it. Drone footage, drivers' cams, drivers mic'd up, things along those lines. And I know you're not finished because I spoke to Brad Steele earlier in the week, and you must love that side of things.
Yeah, that's been another focus. As I said, from a board point of view, innovation's a really key aspect. So as probably a lot of it, as I speak to you, is really around how we broadcast our product. So again, the different angles, drones, driver cams, and so forth. Is again trying to give people another view of harness racing and engage them differently. Now the great thing about harness racing is one, as you know. And you can actually sit in the cart, even and the owners will come out and drive track work and so forth. So it is really a hands-on sport, and you can jump in the driver's seat. And things like driver cam is something you can do. You see jockey cam sometime, and it's quite good, but you sort of you go into the beat of the horse can be difficult to watch. Whereas because from a harness point of view, it's something that can be adapted quite easily to the helmets in a safe manner. It's something that we can deliver, and it's not for everyone, and we've got to manage how we use it, because there are people, for example, betting in the run, so they want to see the full field. So it's got to come in and out of the vision, but we do believe that just having the lateral camera, as we do for your standard meetings, but for features, is really a need to build some other engagement in to show the sport in a different way. And as you said, the drone camera is another aspect of that, which we think, we've got some really good benefits, not just from a broadcast point of view, but longer term, even from an integrity point of view. It's quite funny that the stewards used it on Q-Bread night, and there was a racing incident where, it was difficult to see because of the perspective that the lateral camera gave, that one of the drivers may well have ended up with the suspension out of it, but they used the drone camera, and they could see that both horses probably impacted to the interference, and as a result, neither was charged on that case. So it certainly works both ways in terms from that point of view. So we can see some benefits from the integrity point of view too.
We have Trots Vision down here, and I know you were involved with Trots Vision. I think you were anyway. I'm pretty sure you were at this.
I can't claim any of that, but I think it's a fantastic tool, that's for sure. And certainly do watch it from time to time.
But is that something that maybe with the coverage that you get, this different channel where you can say, rightio, this is where you're going to get your driver's cam, and you might have 2 or 3 different channels?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's one discussion we've had with Sky with regard to their Sky Racing Active app, that it's a bit like Formula One, where you can go in there and you're watching the race and you have the standard coverage that's being broadcast, but then you can go in there and choose to, I want to go driver cam of Charles Leclerc or whatever it might be, and you can actually choose that. So I think that type of functionality is something we've got to aspire to in the future, and therefore people can choose how they view the race, customise your experience. So I think that's something, as I said, to aspire to. There's costs involved, but again, if we can drive the revenue, then you can fund those initiatives.
I love the Grand Prix. Anyone that hasn't actually watched it, a lot of people probably think you're mad watching cars just go round and round. I think they've got nearly 10 channels now. They've even got one in the pits where you can have a pit cam, and basically there's a camera in the pits the whole time watching everything that goes on in the pits. And you'd think no one would watch it, but they wouldn't have they wouldn't put it there if it doesn't work. So
no, 100%. No, that's right. And as I said, it's different strokes or different. They say different strokes for different folks, but I think that's the way. You've got to. That's the way. Business is working these days. They're able to customise things to people's wants, and as I said, there is a scale to it. But if we can get to that point where you can provide those different options for customers, then it can only help the business.
Absolutely. Pricky, I'll let you go, but if anyone wants to watch it, make sure they tune in the Sky channel. They'll get the coverage. But Sky Active tonight, have it going, and you'll be able to get a lot more coverage. I presume Britt will be on track doing her stuff?
Yeah, Britt will be on track. As I said, Adam will be from the studio in Melbourne, and they'll incorporate Chris Barsby. Will come into that coverage at times as well. So the 3 of them will have it covered. There's a number of interviews with key players, and importantly, the races will be covered, and we'll certainly have the different angles and cameras on course tonight. So really looking forward to it, and it's been a good build up. So hopefully the race lives up to the hype. But no, looking forward to it.
I love it, and I love the participants. I interviewed Anthony Butt earlier in the week, and what he said about copy that. He seems to be the forgotten horse tonight. I don't know why everyone's forgotten about him. When A Butt turns around and says he took the right choice, yet everyone's saying about Krug because of where he drew. I forget about it. So basically, if you're not in Queensland and you can't be there anywhere near there, what you got to have is your computer on Trots Vision, your phone on Sky Active, and your main screen on Sky. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about anything else, and you won't miss anything.
That's right, and I've checked the tennis Ash Party's at 11, so we'll get everything out the road, and then you can watch Ash Party a bit later tonight. But, yeah.
It's going to be a big night. David Brick, thank you very much, mate. I've loved this chat, and if you want to get any messages out by any means, give us a yell anytime, buddy.
Appreciate the time, Paul.